Hello and welcome to another edition of A Very Gamezillong Christmas. I'm Protomit.
I'm Tank.
And today we will be taking a look at Uchuu Keiji Shaider episode 39, The Masked Dancing Choir. Now, last year we talked about the VR Troopers Christmas episode. And ironically, of the 3 shows that were used to make up VR Troopers, only Shaider, which was used for VR Troopers' second season, actually had a Christmas episode. But they didn't use any footage from that for their Christmas episode.
And we'll explain why here shortly.
So, to briefly summarize what the premise of Shaider is, a space sheriff by the name of Shaider and his partner arrive on Earth to protect Earth from an evil, bizarre criminal syndicate called Fuma, which have incredibly bizarre tactics for trying to take over the Earth. And this is one of them.
It is. It's, honestly, guys, this episode is quite odd, but good at the same time.
Oh, well, the show was pretty odd in general, but the villain's plot is basically to use an evil Santa to brainwash children into being evil.
And singing choir music.
By indoctrinating them into a sinister cult.
Yeah, pretty much.
For an evil Santa.
The costume, the monster costume.
Sata Sata. That's what the monster is named.
Sata Sata is pretty much a Krampus.
A Krampus mixed with Santa with a black suit.
Yep. And a fan or a light type thing.
Yeah, some sort of bladed fan looking thing.
Yep. And he's hypnotizing a whole bunch. Well, he hypnotizes a bunch of. I don't know why he needed to hypnotize the grunts to.
He doesn't hypnotize the grunts. He gathers up the grunts to put them into the children's Christmas presents to use them to brainwash the kids and lure them into his altar of evil cult.
Yeah, pretty much. With a a crucifixed upside down Santa Claus mannequin thing.
It is easily the most shocking bit of imagery from this entire episode, and easily the most memorable part of the episode.
Yeah, because it's Santa crucified upside down.
While being chanted around by a bunch of people in black robes and masks. It's like...
Very satanic.
It's like, yeah, no, there's no way VR Troopers were going to use this episode.
God, no.
But of course, because we covered the VR Troopers episode last year, I just knew that we had to follow it up with this utterly bizarre and, quite frankly, very inappropriate for American children type episode.
In Japan, they could give 2 shits.
I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, a lot of the later Christmas episodes that come out for Tokusatsu don't go this hard, but this episode goes hard. Unfortunately, that's really the most memorable part of the episode.
The hero transforms a max of 3 times, I think,
which is kind of standard. Multiple transformations is normal in these kind of shows.
He fights the Santas and then the grunt.
He fights, manages to free the children, except not really, because after the commercial break, they're back doing evil stuff. Ooh, the chanting really gets into your head, but that is because it's based on the leitmotif for the villains, which is an incredibly catchy tune in general. So it's like, it's going to get stuck in your head.
They free the children for realsies this time.
Yay!
And he ends up beating Santa.
Of course, that's after they get sucked into a Sata. But that's after they get pulled into the Fuma dimension, which, like in the other space sheriff trilogies. It's just a bizarre dimension that allow them to have incredibly visually creative fight scenes.
He fights a giant version of the Santa. And he actually has to call onto his motorcycle and his spaceship to officially defeat this thing.
Well, generally they call upon the motorcycle to actually access the dimension, or at least give them a grounding when being pulled into the dimension. And then they pull the spaceship to just deal with anything that grows big.
As you do in a tokusatsu.
Oh, yeah. These are standard tropes, for especially the Space Sheriff trilogy.
He uses a hologram version of himself, holding the spaceship that turns into a gigantic gun.
I'm pretty sure they did this in VR Troopers at least a couple points. So none of what's actually happening during the final battle is really that different from what happens normal.
Yeah.
And in fact, the fact that it's supposed to be taking place on Christmas and the monster is Santa Claus themed, there's really not much connecting this to Christmas.
Not much at all.
I mean, barring the upside down crucified Santa Claus.
As you do. What else would you? Is he gonna? Are they gonna kidnap Santa Claus? That's another Tokusatsu episodes, but
oh yeah, there are plenty of episodes that actually involve actual Santa Clauses.
I just remember the first one we did. So we'll get back to this. Zordon kidnapped a bunch of kids to help his little robot buddy put a Christmas tree together.
Now, I guarantee that we will eventually cover some Christmas episodes that are actually pretty spoilery for the shows that they are. I mean, for off the top of my head, Go Busters just has a Christmas episode that is incredibly thematic because its whole story starts at a Christmas party. Like, not that story of the episode. The whole show's story starts at a Christmas episode. Or a Christmas party. But okay. we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah. He still kidnapped a bunch of kids.
It is true.
Billy, where were you?
But I think when it comes to thinking about Christmas episodes in Tokusatsu, this episode stands out for how utterly bizarre of a scene it is to have.
The Santa look. Upside down. On a cross.
Again, it is easily the most memorable part of the episode.
Of course, but that's besides Santa being a dark version of Santa Claus, that's the only Christmassy thing I see in this show.
Yeah. Now, I know that there have been some other weird Christmas episodes. Off the top of my head, I can't even think of it's Sea Draft's Christmas episode, which, again, we'll talk about. That one is a weird one. But
yeah, if you get a chance, check out the episode. If you're in.
It's an alright episode, but outside of the fact that it is Christmas themed, there's not much Christmas about it.
Like, okay, we didn't see a single tree. We saw a present.
Well, we saw plenty of presents.
Yeah. But nothing else said Christmas to me. Besides,
Admittedly, Japan celebrates Christmas a bit differently. Mostly with KFC.
Yeah, I
know. As well you should. I mean, KFC is delicious.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
I haven't had KFC in a while.
But that's completely unrelated to the episode.
No. Yeah. But I guess I really don't have much more to say about it.
Neither do I. I mean, it's just...
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. And have a Happy New Year when we see you then.
Yep. See you when we see you.
Bye.